last video on this channel, I told a shortened version of Team Howlerbear's history from its creation up to the present, and today I will be telling the full story of our first year at Punkin, Chunkin, Colorado. It was late October, just after our first ever national competition, where we had been on another person's team, and at that competition, since we were children, we hadn't been allowed to shoot their machines due to fears of us getting hurt or breaking them, and knowing this, we decided to form our own team, something we could shoot the machines, something we could call our own. And so, after little to no convincing, we were at the hardware store purchasing the materials we would need. A couple weeks later, we started work on the machine, and let me tell you, it was hard work. I honestly didn't think that we would get it done. At the time, we didn't even know what YouTube was, and such had no idea we were ever going to create this channel, so we didn't properly document it. Now, when we started the build, the first step was to chisel and attach the mortise and tenon to keep the base of the trebuchet together. And so, after a couple weeks of that, our first step was done. And next, we had to build the side pieces that are basically the entire trebuchet itself. And our final step that we did was getting an old Land Rover axle from a friend and building the arm. Now, in first year, we were going with a standard medieval falling weights trebuchet. The way that these machines work is you use a winch to pull back the trebuchet's arm to one end and then attach it to the bottom of the board. Now, when you release it, it'll go forward. The sling will be attached up here, and on release, the arm will fly forward and the sling will come off. Then, the sling will let the pumpkin go, and the pumpkin will be perfectly on its trajectory towards the field. Anyways, with this aside, we were almost completed. But there's something that needs to be done. Something that all machines need. A machine needs a name. And we chose Gloria's Wrath. You see, Gloria is a big stuffed teddy bear. And we've had her for almost 10 years now. And she was the center of our lives when we created this machine. And so, we named it Gloria's Wrath. And the team was Team Howlerbear, a name that continues to stay with me until this day. But there's one other thing that we need. Paint! That's it! But unfortunately, in our first year of competition, it was too late. We didn't have enough time to paint it. And so, we were ready for competition. On Friday, the day before the competition, all machines are required to be brought out to the pit, which is the term for the field, out at the fairgrounds, to be test fired and made sure that they're safe, which involves checking to make sure all of the boards are secure and not cracked, and that there are no nails. You see, in Punkin Chunkin, wooden machines are required to use screws and bolts, because nails they can pop out very easily. I was hoping against hope our machine would pass the test. It was the first ever firing of Gloria's Wrath. With a successful shot under our belts, we were ready, and so we went home knowing that we would stand a chance the next day. We got up very early at 5:30 in the morning so that we could drive out to the fairgrounds and be there in time for a 9 News interview. And, well, we were very small.
Back out here, we are live, and this is Erasmus. He is the youngest competitor today, and we're going to talk to him coming up in the full forecast. But right now, let's launch a pumpkin. You ready? Let's do a countdown, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Thank you, Erasmus.
I was going to ruin it. It would have picked it in.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It flew to the sky. We'll talk with him coming up in just a few. Guys, back to you.
After the interview was complete, we went to select pumpkins from their pumpkin cart that we would like to throw. You see, there's a standard of pumpkins. You can either have a big one or a small one, a heavy one or a light one. And in the youth division, you are only required to throw 4-pound pumpkins, at least. But in the adult division, you are required to throw 8-pound pumpkins. After picking out our pumpkins, we spray painted them our color and went back to our machine to wait. A couple hours later, the stadium was full. The crowds were gathered along the back net of the pit, and we were ready. Our first first couple shots were okay, but I'll just let you see what happened.
Honeycomb is the designer and operator of that machine. That's the tiny 7-year-old you see in the blue helmet. The team's named after Howlerbear, this brown teddy bear that's watching over all the engineering. Rasmus had trouble getting their first shot off this morning. Second shot was an amazing 205 feet in their first year. These trebuchets
Ready for a countdown?
essentially fire backwards.
Ready, Rasmus? We have a time, go!
Are you happy? Is that a good one?
Come back.
2, 1.
Oh! Look back behind you.
Punkin time.
That was our tent. We very nearly took out our own tent.
Everybody just learn the safety rules real quickly down here. When you hear that air horn sound 3 times, that means we have an unsafe
That means
fire.
Yeah, so that happened. We almost took out our own brand new state pavilion that we bought specially for this competition. But, you know, all teams have their setbacks, and so the next day, we came back ready to try again. The next day we had to get up less early since there was no 9 News interview, but we still got to the pit around 10 a.m. in order to get our pumpkins ready and fixed up the machine if anything happened to it. We got there and everything was perfect. We set up camp and we were ready. An hour later, the crowd was here and we were ready to start our fire. And once again, I'll just leave it to the couple videos we have.
1. Amazing throw. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic throw for Team Howlerbear.
All right. Are you ready?
3, 2, 1.
All right, all right. That's so cool.
We got a 200-foot shot, and although that's not much now for us, it was insane back then. I was so happy to get the 200-foot shot. It was all I had hoped for. And soon the awards rolled around. It's always fun getting to stand there and see all of the big machines, all of the people you look up to get their awards, see who won. But by the time it came to us, I was ready to see what the placements were. We came in second place, our 2 opposing teams. One was a high school team that built their machine on site, and the second was a small catapult made out of rubber bands. Yeah, it wasn't as much competition as it should have been, but we came in second. The teenage team beat us somehow, even though their machine broke halfway through the competition. I guess that they had more weight on theirs. Anyways, we were happy.